So in the recent Bloons TD6 update, they have released a brand new win condition for bosses, and that is least tiers possible. So apparently there is a minimum least tier score that you can accomplish in bosses, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how we can do that. Now to get things out of the way, the recall rate is set to 1%, so you can just forget about any recall farming, because unless you want to wait 200 seconds for a bloon to recall, then it's not worth your time. So you might have noticed that I've included Geraldo in this one, and that's pretty much because it's impossible for you to complete this one without Geraldo's. Or rather, it's impossible for you to complete Train 6 tiers without Geraldo, because he's going to have some tools which is going to be extremely powerful. So let's get on to it. So we're going to just place down Geraldo, and we're going to save up for some Rare Quincy NFT. So let's just save up for that. Now if you play the cards right, you should be able to afford it near the end of round 10, and you have to get it by the end of round 10, otherwise you can't afford it thereafter. And also due to the amount of lives that you're leaking. So we're going to go ahead and save up for some shooty turrets for now. Also, you might have noticed that I've gotten a relatively high timing on this boss, and don't worry about it. Why did I say don't worry about it? Because this is a least tiers leaderboard, so the amount of tiers you have is prioritized over the amount of time you took. So we're just going to leave it at 2 shooty turrets, and we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a middle path heli pilot. Now even though, as I said, we don't really care that much about timing, we should do our best to minimize it whenever we can, and that means for the time being, trying to get our heli pilot to attack everything that's coming from the start of the track. Now we're going to do with some lead bloons in round 28, so we're going to go ahead and place down a bottom path red hot ranks, and that, my friends, is how we are, or rather the paragon that we're going to go for, and that is a boomerang paragon. So up next, we're going to try and save out enough money for a tier 3 and 4 heli pilot. So now it's round 30, and we can go ahead and sell our Rare Quincy action figure, and just nice, we should have, well, actually more than enough for a support Chinook. So now we're going to go ahead and exploit a bug. So we're going to set to lock in place, and we're going to lock it all the way in front right over here, and from the shop we're going to place down this creepy idol right here. Now I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's a bug pretty much, where you can infinitely store for balloons by having a creepy idol in the other front of the track and having a support Chinook right at the start of the track. And this is pretty broken, because with this you can actually farm for an infinite amount of heli pilot abilities. Well, not infinite, because you're only limited to up to 3 heli pilot abilities, so you're pretty much limited in how you execute this. But regardless, it's still an extremely powerful bug that you can exploit, where you just need to activate the heli pilot ability as much as you can. Now you can only activate the ability for up to 2 times per game. So what you have to do is, to get out of this bug, is you have to get the heck out of there, or rather get your heli pilot out of there. So once you activate the ability twice, that's it. You can't really activate it anymore without wasting any more time. Now why does this bug happen? I have no idea, but the game is just broken as it is, especially with this update. So we're going to go ahead and exploit this as much as possible. Now you might have noticed that I didn't actually upgrade anything just yet, and that's because we're going to save up for special popperations, because special popperations will give you a lot more money, and therefore will make our life very easier. And yes, our timing has now increased to 12 minutes and 47 seconds, and we're just around 34. So yes, this is one pretty impressive bug, I must say. Good job, Ninjakiwi. Okay, so now we can activate its ability one more time, and we can finally get special popperations. Now I know that you can still use the ability only twice. Well, technically twice, because according to its actual stats, the ability disables itself 180 seconds into a round. And yes, there's a way for you to bypass that with, once again, Geraldo, but we'll come to that when we can unlock it. But for the time being, we can activate this ability one more time, so let's go ahead and do that, and let's remove its limitation right now. And yes, we earn $5,600 per crate. Why is it not 4,500? Who knows why. So yeah, this is pretty darn interesting, all things considered. If you're looking to make balloons, what you can do is actually you can place a marine at the end of the track, and just quickly set back to lock in place. And with this bug, you're basically earning $11,000 per round, and that's without even trying. So yes, is this bug incredibly powerful? Heck yes. Should you abuse it? Also yes, because for some reason Ninjakiwi has been introducing a lot of bugs into the game lately, so it's probably about time that you guys prove them that, hey, maybe you should probably fix bugs like this, because God knows why this happens, because honestly I don't know why it happens either. And we have beaten round 39 with a, slight problem of having a penalty of, I don't know, 26 minutes with just 9 rounds of abusing this ability. So yes, you're going to get a really high timing, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But not to worry, we're going to reduce our timing by quite a bit. So now we have 44,000 in cash, and yes, that is a lot. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and place down a boomerang, and we're just going to get a 040 for now. Why not 050, you might ask? Because the boss is also going to take up some time. It's going to add on to our time over here, but we don't need to add too much time, if you get what I mean. So what I'm going to do is, actually, we might as well get a top buff boomerang while we're at it. Just a 300 will do. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and redo the bug right at the start of the track. And with that, this will allow us to actually stall while also being able to defeat the boss at the same time. So it's basically 2 birds with 1 stone. And you know what, we can actually put Jerry's fire onto the boomerang, because this also contributes some pops to it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start this. Now, of course, you have to remember to actually, activate the ability for this to work. And actually, I'm kind of surprised that the ability... I'm not sure whether this is a bug. I'm pretty sure this is visual, but it looks like boomerangs are shooting out of the Jerry's fire, which I'm not sure whether that's intended, but that is honestly kind of hilarious. And also goes to show how broken this game is. I love this game. Okay, so we managed to use its ability twice for this round, so let's let this go, and we are going to lock it back in place once again. There we go. And we managed to get rid of 2 skulls within just 1 round, which is technically impressive. So yeah, let's call this a victory, and let's see if we can defeat it by round 41. Also, yeah, I'm gonna have to replace the totem here, because I'm kind of scared that this bug will break, and or the heli pilot would go rogue because of the super fast moving balloons. I'm not sure how this bug works, and honestly, neither does anyone. Okay, so we managed to get rid of 1 more skull, and this time we didn't actually stun the boomerang, and that's pretty fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and continue exploiting the ability, and hopefully the ability will be recharged in time for us to defeat it. And there we go, we defeated Vortex Tier 1. And yeah, now we just have to wait for us to... We just have to farm a little bit more while waiting. I might notice that we can also place down our Rare Queen section figure, which we're going to go ahead and do, because it's not going to contribute to our tiers, and it's also going to give us a little bit more money every time we sell it. So it's going to be a really huge investment, or not really that huge, but it's going to be a worthy investment. Should we have gotten it earlier? Yeah, we should have, but honestly, with the amount of money that we're making, it doesn't really matter. Also, should have probably done this earlier, but yeah, let's give this fella camo detection so that we don't instantly die. Now, don't forget to use your invisibility potion again for your perma charge, just so that you can deal with these camo balloons. And yes, I know we have a lot of lives, we can technically tank it, but I wouldn't risk it, because the lives could come in handy, you'll never know. Okay, so remember when I said that you could actually use the ability more than twice in a game? Well, that was a slight misinformation, because you couldn't. But what you can do is you can shave off 90 seconds every time you use this one Jordan ability, and that is with the Rejuve potion. So basically, you're limited to using the ability twice per round, no matter what, even with the 180-second timer. So we're going to wait for his ability cooldown to come out first. And once we can activate his ability once, we're going to go ahead, drop the Rejuve potion, and then we're going to, well, unlock this location, sort of. Okay, so now we're going to use the ability once, we're going to use the Rejuve potion right now, and then now we're going to get a patrol point out of there. And voila! That is how we're going to deal with this mess. Actually, we can use this ability one more time. So keep an eye out on the Rejuve potion, because as long as it appears that round, you have to use it that round, especially if you want to maximize the uptime that you have for this potion. Now, because round 59, we have to reapply our Jerry Hot Sauce to our perma charge so that we can deal with the camo lit balloons, but that is not really that huge of a problem, is it? Okay, so next round is going to be round 6, yeah, and it's about time that we go ahead and grab all of our boomerangs to tier 5s and start saving up for the Glaive Dominus. So we're going to do the same thing as the previous round, or rather the previous tier, where we're going to let the permacharge do as much damage to Vortex as much as possible. Because Vortex is extremely, or rather it allows balloons to move extremely fast, you should place a creepy idol at the start of the track, and rather redo its lock in place, just so that you can guarantee that you're going to blow back the balloons correctly. Because sometimes this is a little bit bugged. And you have to be extremely careful with your Moab Dom, because sometimes your Moab Dom might accidentally pop the balloons in front, and well, that will prevent the this stalling bug from working properly. So just be careful about the Moab Dom. Of course, you can choose to not upgrade it and just rely on your permacharge only, but I would not recommend it that much, because you want to guarantee that you can actually pop the boss balloon in time. And if you don't get Moab Dom, sure, you can technically still beat it, but it's not a guarantee, and you're going to have a much harder time dealing with it anyway. Now, if you want to, you can always relocate your Moab Dom somewhere around here, at least for the time being, so that it'll do more damage to the boss, while also, you know, not really impacting the balloons at the start. So it's a win-win for everyone. And voila, we have defeated tier 2 vortex with no problem whatsoever at round 63. And granted, we couldn't use its ability 100% of the time, but that's fine. The important thing is that we got the stall bug up and working again, because now we don't really have to worry too much about this. Now, for the remainder of the game, what we're going to do is we're going to save up as much money as possible for the Glaive Dominus. And I do believe that one Glaive Dominus, or other degree 1 Glaive Dominus, should be enough. So here's how we're going to do it. So, no, we can't actually, this is probably the only one we can't stall, since it's all white class balloons. So let's finish this round first. So first off, we're going to relocate our permacharge right over here, because this, my friends, is where we're going to be, or rather where our Bowman Paragon is going to be. And up next, we are going to save up as much money as possible so that we can afford the Bowman Paragon. So I kind of realized that I made a mistake in my strategy, and that is I should have actually placed the boomerang right here and not right here, so that way it won't be stunned. And also I don't know if Jalo can be Chinook, but if he could, I should have actually moved him way out of the way, so we won't have this problem. So this was kind of my fault. Okay, so I've basically restarted the entire boss event, and I'm done with tier 2. So I'm going to make some changes in order to make my life easier here. So first off, we're going to relocate all of the boomerangs to the start. Reason being, we want the boomerangs to pop tier 3 as much as we can till the very end, where we will finally upgrade the Paragon. But until then, we're just going to focus on dealing as much damage to the regular balloons as much as possible. So we're going to relocate all of our boomerangs slowly to the front, like so. Now, the only exception will be our Glaive Lord, which will still be located right here, just so that once we upgrade it to the Glaive Dominus, yeah, the Glaive Dominus will be located here. Besides, it doesn't deal much damage to bosses either way. And yes, we're going to stop with the heli farming, because our NFT plus the heli will give us enough money over time, and we don't want to increase our timing by that much. Reason why I want to place the boomerangs in front is so that we could give as many pops to the boomerang as much as possible. This is so that we'll end up with a higher degree Paragon, and it will save us some time, or rather some degrees later on. And we're still not going to forget about the Rejuve Potion, however. As long as we can use the Rejuve Potion, we're just going to go ahead and use it. So tier 3 is going to be slightly complicated and slightly messy, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to start off by placing our Glaive Boomerang over here, sorry, our Glaive Lord over here. Why? This is so that it can do damage to the regular Moab class balloons, which we desperately need. And we actually want the rounds to go by as quickly as we can, because if possible, we want Geraldo to upgrade to level 20 before the boss reaches the end. So if we can do that, we can get access to Paragon Totems, which will increase our Paragon degree. But if we don't, then that's fine. The important thing is we defeat the boss and do as much damage to the boss as much as possible. So for tier 4, I'm going to go ahead and place down a jar of pickles for my fellow permacharge, so that he could deal as much damage to the boss balloon as possible. Now, we don't have to worry about popping the boss balloon. It's not going to happen before we get the Glaive Dominus. So all we need to do is just make sure that as much DPS is dealt to the boss as possible, and of course deal with the other Moab class balloons as well. Now, I'm going to constantly use the Chinook ability, and the idea of the Chinook ability is to make sure that it hits that the permacharge hits the vortex as much as possible. As for Glaive Lord, we're still going to leave it here. It will do enough damage to the Bloons to justify its placement over there, so don't worry. I also want the Marine to deal a bit of boss damage as well, because we don't want it to have a lot of health by the time it's near the exit, just to be safe, because better safe than sorry. Oh yeah, I'm also going to add Jerry's Hot Sauce, which I should have earlier. And the good thing about Jerry's Hot Sauce is that it does add on to the pop count of the tower that is hosting it. So basically, it's going to add on to a pop count of the perma charge, and that's fantastic. Okay, so it doesn't seem that we're going to get Geraldo level 20, but that's fine. As long as we manage to deal as much damage to the boss as possible, our mission is technically accomplished. So let's go ahead and get ready by placing our Glaive Lord over here. And I'm going to see if there's a need to relocate the Moab Dome. But I don't think so, since it's already pretty late into the game. Unfortunately, we can't upgrade Geraldo, because if we do, it's going to contribute to the tiers, and we want to maintain it at 26 tiers. So that is a tad bit impossible, but never mind, we can still work with this. And this will be the last time we are moving the perma charge, so hopefully things will go well. Good thing is we only need to sell the Red Queen section figure. We don't actually have to sell the heli, which could be useful. Especially in future rounds, in case we might need to, I don't know, move some towers around maybe. Okay, let's end this off by relocating Moab Dome all the way to the bottom, so that it could finally do more damage. As for these Moab class balloons, I won't worry too much about them. Also, let's use the Reju potion one last time since we can, and we're going to activate the perma charge ability one last time. And we have to finally activate, or rather get ourselves the Glaive Dominus before it's too late. And there we go, we got degree 6, which is not a lot, but it's good enough for us to work with. So now that we got degree 6 Glaive Dominus, we don't have to worry about anything, but I'm going to have to relocate Geraldo all the way to the end over here, so that he won't be affected by anything. Now I'm going to go ahead and, well, since we got a lot of money, might as well go ahead and buy as much additional defenses as we can, such as the Pet Rabbit, because every little bit of damage helps. Now we only managed to get the level 20 Geraldo by round 91, so it wouldn't have been possible either way. So in case you guys were wondering if it was possible, it's not. So now we've gotten ourselves a Pet Rabbit, but it's not going to, or rather it's not attacking anything, because it remains close to Geraldo, but there's also no Bloons near Geraldo. So I think for the time being, I'm going to relocate Geraldo closer to the middle, so that way the rabbit could be, I don't know, closer to the source of the action, and hopefully it can start attacking more. There we go. Because we're not contributing to any more pops, or other Geraldos isn't contributing to any more pops for a higher degree Paragon. So now it's tier 4 Vortex, and I don't think we actually need to do anything for us to win this, so we're just going to sit back here and just watch everything unfold. Okay, so far the Glaive Dominus can't be stunned when Vortex is at the very least in front, so that is really good news. And with that, we have defeated Vortex tier 4. And all that's left is for us to defeat tier 5, and then we are done with this game. Okay, so round 120 is going to be extremely difficult. So we're going to start by placing down as many Geraldo DPS items as we can first. And honestly, that's about it. The Sheen Bottle we're going to have to save for later on for its third skull. And yeah, for our DPS items, we'll use them when necessary. For example, Jar Pickles, we're going to constantly spam Marine abilities so that it can constantly deal DPS to the Vortex. And of course, I'm going to leave the Paragon at strong so that obviously it deal more damage to the boss. So let's get started. Okay, and the second skull is popped, but it did stun. But the good news is, it didn't manage to pop any of the Mod class balloons. So in other words, we are safe from high-speed Mod class balloons. Okay, so first off, let's move Geraldo out of the way, because this is going to be extremely problematic once the skull is popped. And let's actually get the genie bottles right here, and I'm going to place down these creepy idols over here so that they can stun both Mod class and regular balloons. So can it deal 500k damage before it reaches the exits? That's the golden question of the day. Okay, and we're down to its last 50,000 health. Can we defeat Vortex before it reaches the exit? And the answer is yes. Just in time. And we did it. Finally, we defeated Vortex. And we got a score of 26 with a timing of 1 hour and 22 minutes. And you see on the leaderboard, we are currently 6th place overall. And since that Guanyam actually managed to pull off 25 tiers. How he did it, I suspect it is through 040 heli rather than 050, but it's going to be extremely tough. So if you want to try for 25 tiers, go ahead, but it is going to be extremely difficult. And with that, we've actually done reasonably well considering our place. Not going to be top 3 because I'm not that good at bosses to, you know, get a lower timing than this. But hey, if you want an easy top 50, well, here's how you can do it. And with that being said, hopefully Ninjakiwi actually does patch this infinite stalling bug, because as fun as it is to do, it is kind of annoying and it also kind of defeats the whole purpose of this boss. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like if you like this video, leave a comment if you want to add on anything else, and I'll see you guys in the next video.